This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building. Yeah!
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by Assurance Home Care, Burger King, Easy Car Sales, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, Prince Masters, and Tropical Gyros.
We're back at you on the Monday, February 16th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty and your company right up until 6 p.m. And of course, you know today is Monday. We will be chiming in with Roscoe Thompson. And we'll be going to Abaco in short order. But I will say this. It is Monday. We got lots to talk about. We expect you to chime in because, like I said, from the length and the breadth of the country, Bahamians definitely have a lot to talk about. Mr. Producer, I got a wicked echo. I need you to double check that for me, please. But make a long story short, lots to talk about wherever I go, wherever MJ and I go, a lot of conversation. It's starting to buzz. And obviously we're entering silly season and we got to talk about all what's going on here in New Providence, as well as find out everything that's going on in Abaco. All right? So with that being said, if you want to chime in, if you want to be part of the conversation, here's how.
Here's how you can become a talking head. Brought to you by BTC.
Text line powered by BTC, 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Phone lines open in New Providence, 323-6232, 325-4259, 325-43. Anyone in the Family Islands, 242-300. 5720, 242-300-5720. Stream us live. Take us wherever you want to go. GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. Cable channel 969, BTC Flow channel 612. That's how you get it in. That's how you get it on for fresh news, smart talk all day, right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. And of course, big part of the conversation is definitely going to be the headlines.
It's time for Headliners. Everything that's making headlines into 242. Brought to you by the Fine Threads.
And here it's just blazing up the pages of the Nassau Guardian News and Views that matter since 1844. All brought to you, of course, by the Fine Threads. Big headline. We will not rip you off. And this obviously big headline coming in off the weekend and everything that went on in Grand Bahama with the F&M Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard pledged that the government led by him would be transparent, build thousands of new homes, and return manufacturing to the Bahamas, as he accused Prime Minister Philip Bray Davis of bringing emissaries to Grand Bahama instead of tangible relief. Pintard spoke on Friday during the F&M's Grand Bahama candidates launch in Freeport. He urged Grand Bahamians to support the opposition slate of candidates, adding that a vote for anyone other than the F&M is a vote for the PLP. Let me say to the Bahamian people, we will not rip you off. Pintard told a crowd of supporters gathered at the City of Life Entertainment Center. More headlines. PM says PLP won't have public political activities during Lent. So let's look at the calendar. We in the middle of February. Ain't nothing happening now. Ain't nothing happening in March because we got portions of March that involve Lent, correct? And April. So I'm saying we are looking at May or June. Because you ain't going to come out of Lent not doing anything for 40 days and not get on the ground. So you can need some time on the ground, maybe 2 to 4 weeks to really hit and make it impactful and get as many people out to vote as possible. So I would say, May or June. And if that's not the case, then he might run it right to the ultimate limit where he could run to the last minute, to the 11th hour. A lot of things at play here. But let's look what the PM had to say. While he announced last week that the Progressive Liberal Party PLP's campaign will launch this week, in fact, they kick off tonight at Bahamar, Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis said that there will be no public political activity during Lent, which begins Wednesday. His comments came after backlash from some religious leaders who raised concern that politics might overshadow this sacred time. I am aware of that, and we will not have any political public activities during Lent, Davis told reporters on Friday. There will be meetings, private meetings, he added. The 40-day solemn Lent season begins on Ash Wednesday and ends on Holy Thursday. So like I say, you might be having your meetings and your private meetings, but you still got to hit the ground. So I'm still staying with May, like I said, end of May, beginning of June. But it could be totally different. And you know you can't get a straight answer from this administration. So you never know. Mitchell Sands trade insults over hospital project. Man, that was hilarious. I watched them go back and forth, and I ain't gonna lie, Dr. Sands, I got to give you on when I go to the tail of the tape and I go to the scorecards, I got to give you a unanimous decision. But what I don't understand is, right? Obviously, Mr. Mitchell could give, but he can't take. In more ways than one, because obviously, he could big up himself and I'll be as nasty as you want me to be, and he can hurl insults, but when you hurl an insult back at him, then he plays victim. Then runs behind that keyboard and drops a 3.5-minute voice note ad nauseum that makes no sense. So it's all getting into the political mudslinging, and it's personal back and forth. You're not involving families. You're not involved in other kind of things that are out of bounds. Man, go for it. I found it to be entertaining. Hey. And obviously, when you're quick to use the colorful vernacular, that shows a sign of weakness. I mean, for all them years, I did comedy, 27. When you get a heckler, and that heckler start, talking back, you back and forth, it's all good. When they start to get a little upset, a little heated, and curse, you won. And in this case, Dr. Sands won. Real simple. McAlpine says he will run in Pine Ridge as an independent. Former Pine Ridge MP Frederick McAlpine announced yesterday that he will run in the upcoming general election as an independent candidate. McAlpine, who was elected as the constituency's MP under the FNM in 2017, said in a statement that he is committed to touching the lives of Grand Bahamians in a tangible way. During his term, he left the FNM and ran as independent in 2021 when he was defeated by the PLP candidate, Ginger Moxley. So we're down there with Reverend McAlpine. Reverend Mac, man, I appreciate what he does down there. All right. Let me get to the text lines. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. I told you election no later than June the second week. I hold the other secret for that later. I have my money on May to September. September more so because the PM wants all this time. That's what I was saying. I mean, me and MJ was talking the other day, and I was like, look, I'm holding firm to May, early June. Now, with the announcement that, hey, nothing happening during Lent, I'm really holding firm to that, and it may go over a little bit. But to the text that it said possibly September, that's another point that was raised. MJ made a great point that, he might want to milk it to the end. And I agree. If that's what you got to do, then maybe you should push it to the 11th hour. Because right now, you can't call it in March. You can't call it in April. So it's got to be May, end of May, if you want to put in some campaigning. And you're not going to go. So that would make it June and between May and June. That's what I'm going to hold to. But I wouldn't be surprised if it went the full distance to September, when the king got to make a call and say, oh, Philip, you must go to the polls now, old boy. And the PM would probably answer, how you want me to respond to that? All right. So, yeah, I agree, callers. I mean, texters. It's going to be in that May-June area for sure. All right, let's get to the break. Flip side of the break, we'll chime in with Roscoe Thompson live from Abaco. And listen, lots to talk about in Abaco. We'll get caught up on the immigration situation. We'll get caught up on the marinas. But more importantly, fires ravaged Abaco over the weekend. And I want Roscoe to bring us up to snuff because Roscoe and the fire crew from down there in Abaco, relentless until they got it under control. And with the live Facebook updates and letting everybody know how it progressed. But once again, fires in Abaco emanating from a junkyard. So it involved toxins because there were tires burning and cars burning. But I'll let Roscoe bring it up to snuff for you. We'll talk about everything else going on in Abaco, and I'll get Roscoe's take on a few other things. So keep it right where you got it. The Monday, February 16th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
See, that's how that Chi-Town made me. That's how my daddy raised me. That glittering may not be gold, don't let nobody play me. If you are my homeboy, you never have to pay me. Go and put your hands up. When times is hard, you stand up. LUP the man, cause a brand that the fans trust. So even if they ban us, they'll never slow my plans up. Already the show goes on all night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when it come up. Show goes on all night. Already the show goes on all night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when it come up. Show goes on. One in the air for the people ain't here.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape, a Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more. There's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances, so come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Crunch boring lunches and enjoy real food at a real good price with KFC's value deals. For $5.95, you can get a famous bowl and drink or a one-piece chicken box. For max value, grab a value box. That's a piece of our iconic chicken, nuggets, cheesy mashed potato, a buttery biscuit, fries, a dessert biscuit, and soda, all for just $9.95. KFC value deals have got the crunch that you're looking for. KFC knows value, and it's finger-licking good.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Yeah! Already the show goes on all night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when it come up. The show goes on all right. Already the show goes on all night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when it come up. The show goes on. Have you ever had you was being had? Don't that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth, hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh, put my kicks up on they desk, unaffected by they threats. Then get busy on they. See, that's how that Chi-Town made me. That's how my daddy raised me. That glittering may not be gold, don't let nobody play me. If you are my homeboy, you never have to pay me. Go and put your hands up. When times is hard, you stand up. LUP the man, cause a brand that the fans trust. So even if they ban us, they'll never slow my plans
Back at you on the Monday, February 16th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty and your company right up until 6 p.m. Let me check the text lines real quick before we go down to Albuquerque, because we'll be going to Albuquerque in short order. But let me check the text. Naughty, how is it possible that the PM wants to construct the airport in Freeport but doesn't have a plan? Naughty, tonight the PM has a surprise to say. All right, text, you say surprise announcement tonight, eh? You're just trying to make me watch, eh? All right, everything cool. All right, let's get down to Albuquerque and check in with Roscoe Thompson. Roscoe, what's good, man? What's going on?
Right here, Naughty. Good afternoon, Bahamas. How's everybody?
First of all, let me commend you for that awesome job you did down there fighting yet another fire, especially dealing with the forestry and so on and so forth. Not an easy task. It emanated from a junkyard, I believe. I'm going to let you bring us up to snuff, but hats off to you and all of the volunteer firefighters down there in Albuquerque, man. Job well done again. Leading by example and doing well. And you can't on about on Facebook Live, too. Speaking through the mask and everything. I said, look at my boy go.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a collaborative effort between the volunteers here and also High Banks and Treasure Key that came up. You know, and this gets to be repetitive. You know where the fire started, Naughty? It started from the old debris
Roscoe, when I saw it matched the videos you sent me from before, and I said, dear God, the debris that was left from the shanty town.
Yep.
That Minister of Works, Clay Sweeten, refused to remove after bragging about taking down the shanty town.
Yep.
Here we are.
Yep.
And how many weeks do we talk about it and you say, I hope to God nothing happens because it's going to be a pain in the behind if a fire starts and then the toxins and so on. And the black smoke was thick yesterday in those videos.
That whole strip, most of the cars out there ended up catching on fire. That whole strip there, just about. But again, it just goes to the fact this administration doing an exercise in something, but never following through. Now, you know, I have to give, and I don't want to sound like I'm justifying, but I have to give a shout out to Aaron Sargent and the DRM for coming to our rescue this morning, you know, with getting some heavy equipment there. So I have to give him some props on that. But I don't.
Off to him, man. What's the name again?
Aaron Sargent. He's managing director of the DRM, I think. If
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken.
well, good job, man, Mr. Sargent. Hats off to you and the DRM. But, I mean, that's the kind of response you look for, and that's the kind of response that should be commended.
Right.
That's the response that should be in place, and it worked, and it's good.
Yeah, it's just sad because, you know, it could all been avoided if they'd have cleaned up after they were done. So you have that area there that, you know, people continue to dump debris, continue to dump garbage, and then they decide to set it on fire. And, you know, you can't get in the back there to do it. And anyway, I guess all hell broke loose yesterday, but, you know, thank God no lives were lost, you know, no homes or in that. It's just a strip of junkyard, you know, of used car lots or junkyards.
Now, Roscoe, are they still setting fires in Albuquerque, or is that started back up again? Because we've discussed it on the show before when there was such a spate of fires in Albuquerque. I'm wondering, you know, just to ask.
This was started. I mean, this was started from Friday when we got called down there Friday. And we did what we could to get into the back there to try out in it, but it was so far in the back, you couldn't get, you know, you just couldn't get to it. We were hoping that it would have just burned out, but in a sense, it didn't. The wind picked up, and it went behind and got into the junkyards. You know, but again, you know. We've, you know, like Mr. Sargent did, and he said, you know, hey, y'all push a fire break around these car lots. So if a fire breaks out in there again or around that vicinity, it does not go, you know, into Murphy or Dundastown or any of the other communities. So, you know, I got to say that's the one thing that, you know, it's taken him a year to do, but at least he authorized to get the fire break pushed around the settlement. You know, and I messaged other MPs, and you know,
that's what I like to see. That's forward thinking. That's you know, being, you know, visionary, because it could occur again. Let's put the firewall here while we have the equipment and everything.
Yeah, because it's
proactive rather than reactive.
Reactive, and it's kind of early. Usually, our fire bugs or whatever you want to call them, they start in March or April. This time it started, it's in February. So the one good thing I can say is, thank God we've got it under control. The other thing is that the DRM authorized Big Cat to go in there, and I appreciate Shannon working with us again to push a fire break around all the areas there, which will protect it from spreading, into other communities. So we did have a little bit of rain this afternoon or midday, so hopefully that helped with dampering it out. When I'm done with you on the radio, I'm going to drive down there and out and see what's happened. But it's frustrating, Naughty, because it all could be avoided. And, it's just like anything else with government or this administration, I mean, you need to stop and think sometimes. It's great that you go and knock down shanty towns. That's a great thing, but you got to do something afterwards. You can't just leave all that mess there.
No, that I agree. And the reasoning behind why you can't leave the mess there is now clearly on display.
Well, it all lands at the feet of, and I mean, I don't mean to call him out, but it all lands at the feet of the Minister of Works, Clay Sweeten, and the shanty town. You're telling me in 2 years you've had 2 budgets and y'all have not put money in to have this area cleaned up in Abaco? That's wrong. I mean, and now you have other shantytown exercises going on. I hope that you are making sure you have, the funds there for them to clean up after they knock down. So, I just hope that there's really not much more to burn out that way. I say that, thank God in a way. But it's sad to see when we walk there today and looking at what destruction, I mean, don't get me wrong. People think junkyards, junk cars, but there's still a lot of money in junk. And quite a few of them car lots down there lost a lot of that
parts, a lot of that inventory.
Yeah. So, but man, Naughty, it's just, we all said last night, it's just too early.
Maybe because it's silly season,
Well, if it's any sign, I shouldn't say this, but if it's any sign to come, boy, that flame was blazing hot. And I'm not the one give kudos to any party right now.
I know. You're middle-aged and crazy. You don't mess with you.
So,
but I'll be honest with you though. A lot of concerns. Speaking of city season, though, Roscoe, and a lot of questions I get when I'm out and about, when me and MJ are out and about, and when MJ's out and about, and it concerns, the whole immigration situation. And continuously, I'm getting texts right now. And especially when you hear, one of Abaco's well-known celebrities down there, Frankie Florida, he's in New Providence, say Abaco gone, he ain't got to worry about Abaco. He need Louis Judge to help him in Camp Road in Freetown. So is it, and when you hear it on social media and it disseminates among groups, it builds a momentum of its own. So Bahamians want to know, is that the case? Is Abaco gone?
I can't say that Abaco's gone. The F&M has a lot of work to do here. A lot of people still have to remember that hurricane that came through here, Dorian, really devastated Abaco and really put the F&M in a position, or the government in a position that I don't think no other government has been in. And that's still at the back of people's minds. The thing that is overshadowing Dorian, as I say, we used to say the 3 things in hurricane was Dorian, Doc, and Dames. They were the 3 names that were associated with that, the 3 Ds. Right now, what the PLP is doing, they haven't done anything in Abaco per se to give them that boost or to, give their candidates that oomph. They paved Pelican Shores, part of Central. They look at the whole scope of Abaco from north to south. I can't really say of any major impact or that they've brought in, or they've done. So for me to sit here and agree with Frankie, I don't agree with Frankie. I think that it's still too early, and it's a toss up right now. If you ask me, it's who gets on the ground and who shows that they're willing and that they have the direction and the voice that people want to hear, and that they're going to speak up for Abaco, not for just the F&M or the PLP, but speak up for the people here in Abaco. So it's getting to that, like you say, that silly season is around, and they're trying, to do some more shanty demolitions over here, opposite where all the fires are. They have some illegal construction going out in certain areas there that I hear they're going to be addressing. Does that help the Progressive Liberal Party? That they're showing, hey, we're trying to tie this immigration thing down and get the illegal construction down. Yeah, it might stick a little feather in their cap, but I still think people are still hurting and seeing, with all the new fees that we've had levied against us over the past 4 years is ridiculous, from boating to car licensing to insurance, that put on, that taken off, things like that. I just think it's right now, honestly, say it's a toss up. They both got their work cut out for them. The reason I say that is because Abaco is a little bit different than Grand Bahama or Nassau or Exuma or Eleuthera.
Boy, you said that as diplomatically as you could put it, boy. It's a little different.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean that in all honesty, because you have to remember there's still a lot of people here that, have not got housing or, still suffering from Dorian. And part of that is the previous administration's fault. But a lot of the blame now lies at this administration's fault for, not seeing it through, not making sure that it was, that people.
Well, you had 4.5 years to deliver on some of your campaign promises that you were going to rectify the situation, right, and bring relief, and you haven't.
You haven't, I mean.
But let me ask. Go ahead.
You got a couple houses that were built by Baker's Bay, and then a couple, that might have been done. If they built as the government in conjunction with that, they did good over here. I mean, in all honesty. Now, like I say, you still got Many Hands here, which is an NGO that are helping, with people, but they're providing more labor than anything. You have to provide the material. But it's good to see you still have groups here helping.
So let me ask you this question, because this has come up, in association similar to what I asked you. And I appreciate you letting me know, the lay of the land down there, both with both political parties. But still, some of the question regards immigration as far as the voting process. That is Abaco on top of it on both sides, that it is going to be a fair process? Because there's a lot of talk about, foreign nationals with documents being able to vote, they can't speak English, and so on and so forth. The biometric cards, if you're moving from one constituency to the next, the way you verify is like a lot of red flags coming up here in New Providence, and then indirectly, questions come up related to what Abaco, so on and so forth.
Well, yeah, and don't get me wrong. You've had some, some instances. You had I don't think he did it on purpose, but they were up around the administrator's office. I don't know what they were doing up there, but I can't speak for that person. But, it doesn't look good when you have one of your prospective candidates or a ratified candidate, up where they're registering. I just don't think that looks good. Not saying what he did was wrong. He might have been up there, checking to see the administrator, whatever it may be, or into the office and just talking to people while they were registered. I will say this. I know our administrator very well over here, Mr. Kenwood Cartwright, and I will say he is a man that goes by the books. He is not a person that will allow things to slide, and he will keep on top of what's going on over here. He just general. He's had some concerns with people coming in, and things like that. But I am comfortable that I can speak for Central. I can't say for the South and the North where they might be registering too. But I can say for the Central, I'm pretty sure he's got a good grip on it. And he's making sure that people have their proper documentation in regards to passports and your NIB card with you to register. I don't like what this administration did with not, if you switch a residency, you don't have to bring or constituency or a polling division, you don't have to bring a
verification and
documentation. You
documentation.
Move. Because that I could go and register right now and say I live in Dundastown. Well, they know I don't live in Dundastown, but every Joe Schmo, you might be able to get away with that. But I do appreciate what the administrator and what his department is doing here in Central South Abaco. We just had a registration drive at the community center, the Marsh Harbor, from 5 to 8, and it was good to see a lot of the locals, not just from Marsh Harbor, but also from Dundastown and other areas, come out to register this past week. And then this week they're doing some in Spring City. So I got to give kudos to our registration department and administrator's office, who's overseeing all this over here. They're doing a superb job at this point in time in getting people registered and making sure people have the proper documentation. And if anything looks fraudulent or looks questionable, they raise that question. And I have that's all I can ask of them or anything.
Let me ask you this, Roscoe. Voter turnout is very important. Obviously, we need as many Bahamians out to vote as possible, so we know exactly where we stand as a nation. Are Abaconians, what's the mood with Abaconians? Are they excited to register to vote, or are they excited to vote if they're already registered?
You have that, the people that I've been talking to, you got some that are very gung-ho and wanting to, that are registered, and, they're getting other family members to register. And then there's also that side of it too, that you have that the apathy one, that they're like, hey, there's no difference between the FNM and the PLP. Look what the FNM did to us after Dorian. They kicked us in our butt. It's still that. And then the PLP even kicked us in our butt even more.
And the other cheek.
In the other cheek. So we got both cheeks kicked by. So there's still that.
And let me tell you the joke about butt cheeks. This is what Abaco should say. What did one butt cheek say to the next butt cheek? We could stop this crap if we stick together.
Yeah. So that's a good one. But no, that's the thing, Norty. So yes, there is some excitement over here with people getting registered and people pushing to get registered. I see that, but I also see the-ness of some others that just don't care. And, I don't like to use immigration as a block to say, hey, you need to vote because we don't want X, Y, and Z or this to happen. But, in Abaco, we're probably at a 50-50 ratio, foreigners to Bahamians in that aspect there. So it makes it difficult over here. And now it's spread out again, where before it used to be the mud and the peas, where you had about 400 foreign national voters or Bahamian voters that lived in there. That is now spread out through Dundas and Murphytown, as well as even North Abaco and South Abaco. So they do have a big voting block, and it's just a matter of what their candidates, what the PLP and what the FNM have to offer them as individuals, and to fight for them, to see what they're going to do to rectify the situation. You've got to stop the illegal building. You've got to stop the illegals to our country being its own, sovereign nation. We have to stop that.
All right, let's get to the phone lines real quick. Talking Heads.
We don't hate you. You're just naughty by nature. Hey, Roscoe.
What's going on, GNN?
What's GNN?
Boy, if I tell you what's going on, you and Roscoe might talking.
Well, that's my job, so tell me. Let's go.
Yeah, listen, we can. I understand what Roscoe is saying. Frankie Fraud probably is correct on that end in terms of the numbers, and the support. And he's kind of correct too on this end because I had a couple of political parties visit my house, and one of the parties had a lot of young Bahamians of immigrant descent walking along with them. You understand? And it's kind of a little scary. But, someone like GNN, I can mitigate against that when it comes to election, man. Because I'll park one immigration bus at each of them polling division and see who's man enough to come around there.
Yeah.
How about that?
But I know you'll come up with something creative, GNN. I know how you go.
All right, man.
But listen, later on in the week, I need you to call me back because, I got to talk about When Satan 2 hospitals. So I can need you to chime back in. I know GNL will get me up to date with that for sure.
Yeah, and Naughty, that's something even what I see with the hospital. What is it, $200 and something million they want to build a new hospital? I mean, in all honesty, I'm not saying Princess Margaret is, does not need work and we don't need a new healthcare facility or whatever. But at this point in time in our countries, where we are financially as a nation, wouldn't it be more practical to revamp and renovate Princess Margaret where it might not cost us as much? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's fine if you go to the private ward at Princess Margaret, but if you go to the general ward, healthcare there. So I mean, is there ways that we could look at that where money could be used, elsewhere? I know our healthcare system is lacking, but right now, me and a friend were talking today down at where the fires were, and he was saying, hey, it's better for us to just stay here and have a child, or if some complication comes up, you don't want to go to PMH. And he's an EMT. He's an ambulance. Yeah. So when you hear something from that, we actually have better care here in Abaco than what they do at the Princess. But or take half of that money and redo Princess Margaret. I mean, why are you going to put a hospital in a flood-prone area? I mean, why are we doing that? Is it again election time? Family, friends, and cronies.
And just another horrible decision that the Minister of Health, Dr. Darvo Shaky, just goes all in on. I mean, he seems to go all in on the Shaky. But of course, let's get to the phone lines. Talking Heads. Talking Heads.
Is it nothing?
Hey, what's going on?
Very good. Yeah, hey, Roscoe, listen good. The immigration problem can never change if you keep putting these F in the PLB in. I mean, I know you older than me, and things ain't changed from when you were younger. So you think things can change now at the old age now? How the country going now?
I know you're calling old caller, but I got you.
You understand where I come from? We are far gone. This could be so embedded with illegal immigrants that we don't even know right now people who be sitting on the side eating every day talking to have roots and sleep in family. It's Asian sitting and all like, and see that every day that I work around people and never know it was because they speak Creole. That's how serious it is in this country. So if we try to fix the system where we already have the people in the system who can fix it, and we have the people in the system who have Haitian descent and everything and Jamaican descent in the system who's supposed to fix the system, how that can work? Understand like I'm Roscoe?
It's a good point, and you're right. I mean,
very good point.
Me and Naughty are pretty much the same age, and
I know who you calling old.
But
you can't call me old, so you can't call you old.
No, but we getting up there. We getting to where we now.
In the words of the late Kobe Bryant, I am Vino, brother. I get better with the age.
But he's correct. I mean, our system is flooded, with foreign nationals of that are born here, that are Bahamians. I mean, you can't really call them foreign nationals. Naughty, and I got to agree. I don't think in my lifetime or your lifetime we're going to see the immigration issue, unless they really take a. How would you say it? And I don't want to because
they have to take a firm approach in the sense
firm
of
approach.
If you've been here and you're
Right.
born in this
Right.
country, and you're 18 and up, and you've been applying, and you've been not successful, then you need to get your paperwork in order. You've done
You
it the
need
right
to do
way.
an approach like Trump is doing with the illegal immigration, everything that he's doing, but you have to actually go to that extreme to get us back on the right track. And I don't want to see anybody hurt. I don't want to see, riots or anything of it. But at some point in time, we as Bahamians have to look out for our own country, because if 10, 20 years down the line, we might be in more trouble than what we are now.
I agree that we have to do something, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think the first approach would be to naturalize those that meet the requirements of naturalization, because they're entitled to it and they've done it the right way. Then for anybody who's come from a foreign nation, especially from Haiti, because that is the quickest, foreign nationality that you go after. That if you come here, you've been processed correctly, you speak English, you've immersed yourself into the culture, and you're trying to build the country, not a problem. If you've come here on a flight, on a national flag carrier, you can't speak a lick of English, and you land with documents allegedly that you could vote and have an effect on our election and political future, then Houston and I have a problem.
Big time. That's a scary thought when you think of it.
And what you have to look at is, if you do have undocumented, if the allegations are true, and you do have some documented foreign nationals now that cannot speak English but have the proper paperwork to vote, you're going to have to reward them on the flip side if you win said election.
Yeah.
Because now the chickens will come home to roost.
Yeah.
So we have to look at it. And then that's really when you get into that Trumpian territory that you referred to.
Correct.
And I mean, the Dominican Republic should serve as a glaring example. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that kind of situation. Period. Because at the end of the day, we're human rights treaties that we have to adhere to. And that kind of behavior is not going to cut it.
No.
And I'm saying that from a long-term, big picture kind of thing. And there's nobody more ready than me for the right reason to draw a line in the sand and defend my Bahama land.
No, I agree. Like I said, Naughty, and I've said it on your show before, I agree. Naturalization for the ones that have the right to, that have been born here, went to school here, know nothing but the Bahamas. They have that right. Now, what I don't agree with, if you have not applied by time you're the certain age, to me, you've given up that right. You choose to just be in limbo. And so it goes both ways. I mean, we have to be realistic, but I also believe you have to give, what we call legal immigration, not illegal.
I think we need to clean up what we need to clean up here, and then establish moving forward the criteria that qualifies you for said documentation that makes you able to work in the Bahamas,
that's what I would like
residency,
to see.
so on and so forth.
I'd like to see from the FNM and the PLP, both of them, in their manifestos and their blueprints for change, or whatever you want to call them, what their plans are, what their, not that, hey, we're going to deal with immigration. Of course, every government says they're going to deal with immigration. But how are we going to do it? What is the first thing you're going to tackle? How is it going to be? How are we going to address it? What are we going to do to shut down this influx,
Well, I've seen that the FNM has spoken to it with Mr. Pintard has brought up the SHIELD program, which is implemented ways that they're going to combat the immigration situation. However, you have to look at it right now.
Yeah.
It's a very volatile situation, and we don't need the volatility.
Agreed.
At the end of the day, we need to get a control on it. And I think that, you naturalize who you need to qualify, like I said, and then moving forward, have that criteria. And if you don't meet that criteria, you got to go.
Agreed.
Let's get to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty, Jen, I'm calling to report. Someone called me. What you need to know?
During the week, I'm going to bring it up. I'll touch you ahead of time. I need you to be ready, though, because I'm talking about all 2 of the hospitals, and I got some issues, and I want you to chime in.
See, you got to understand the second hospital, the maternity hospital, you got to understand why that was done, and they wouldn't listen to nobody, and they forged in the head with that, because me, you, and Roscoe ain't never go there, because we ain't planning to have no babies no time soon.
No,
sir. I would with Bahamian woman, but you know who the land was owned and do. Same thing with you see these fellas in themselves that they don't care how they
setting up
head.
generational wealth. Correct. But yeah, during the week, GNN, make sure you hit me back when you hear me talking hospital, okay, brother? But Roscoe, it was back to a small minority collects the generational wealth to the detriment of the majority of Bahamians. Let's go to the phone lines. Talking heads.
Yes, good day, Jones. How y'all doing?
What's happening?
All right, 2 things I need to, 2 mentions. First of all, I lived in Abaco for quite some time, and I'm gonna tell you something. And you know, the rest of the Bahamas may not know all of this, but the biggest problem with the legal problems in Abaco are the Abaconians, and I'm not talking about the regular Abaconians. I'm talking about the key Abaconians, the ones that live on the Keys, the ones that live in you know, in those specific areas, if you understand where I'm going with this. You know what they just say? How you could talk, how you could deal with my Haitian. That's the talk. It ain't about, the biggest problem in Abaco when it comes to illegal immigration, Bahamians, the so-called lower class Bahamians, it ain't the ones that, is the ones who own the businesses, and we know the majority of who own the businesses over there. That is where the problem comes in. And no matter how much they talk, but I don't want this immigration thing, I don't want that, I don't want it, it's getting out of hand, blah, blah, blah. Go mess with 1 or 2 of their people, and or what they call my Haitians. And you will see what problems take place. And I can promise you, they could flim-flam and come on the radio and talk about all these other different problems with immigration in Abaco. Every Abaconian know, the real Abaconians know what the problem is. These people wouldn't come there if nobody was there to hire them. Nobody was there entertaining them. If nobody was there housing them. That's where the problem begins. So when we talk about what's going on in Abaco and all that other stuff like that, see, let me tell you, the real story is find out why all of these people come into Abaco. Abaco is what we call Little Haiti, honestly and truly. And find out why those people keep coming in. Why they calling their cousin, their auntie, and the uncle to come to Abaco. Because it is there. And the people who provide the opportunities are the same ones who talking out the side of their mouth and talking about immigration this, immigration that. But yet they still hiring the same people. It's nonsense.
Caller, let me ask you a question. In fact, let me ask you 2 questions. First one, how do we fix it? Since you live there, you know, and you've experienced it, like, how do we fix it? What would you suggest?
Right. First thing we need to do is we need to be honest. It ain't got nothing to do with PLP. It ain't got to do with F&M. It got to do with the local there. If there was nobody there entertaining, hiring, nobody there entertaining them, there would not be a problem. Do you know that any of all the islands in the Bahamas, why do you think it's known that Abaco is called Little Haiti? Why do you think the majority of the population, in Haitian-based population, is in Abaco? Because there are people there that are entertaining it. And as long as we don't face the facts, the people there are corrupt. And I'm talking about from the head to the bottom. They're the ones that are causing their mouth about the immigration issues, the F&M this, the PLP this, and all that. They are the ones that are corrupt. They're the ones that are hosting the issues. And then another thing I need us to understand too. I don't know if we understand that agendas based on governments are not controlled by governments, you know. You guys actually believe that the PLP, the F&M, and anyone else controls what goes on in this society? There are outside influences that if they don't follow on the books of these things and they don't do what they're supposed to do, certain things are going to happen. So it don't make a difference if the PLP is there, the F&M is there, the COI is there. There are plans already in place that they have to follow. And if anybody doubts that, they're foolish. And this ain't only the Bahamas. This is a global event. You think President Trump actually controlling a lot of things? He's moving according to certain situations that are taking place globally. And we here talking about, the this and the hospital and all this. Brother, let me tell you something. If the PLP wasn't there, the hospital was still going to be there. It still was going to come. And I challenge anyone to doubt that. These things are already in play. We are just pawns in this game. Thank you.
All right, good stuff, Paula.
And Naughty, he's got a point. I think you have Abaco people that are some of their is one of our worst problems, because if you don't hire them, they will not come. I do have to agree, and that's been going on since they had the farms over here back in the.
Right, and you're gonna look at it. You got to look at it from when it emanated from and how it's progressed and how it's mushroomed.
Yeah.
Now, what we got to do? I know you got a couple minutes. We got to go over into the 5 o'clock. Callers, hang tight. If you're on a cell phone, hang up and call back. If you're not on a cell phone, hang tight. I'll get to you right after the news. Roscoe and I'll wrap things up. I got a couple of more questions for him, and we'll wrap things up, and we'll talk sports. So keep it right where you got it. The Monday, February 16th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Alright, the show goes on. Right till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Have you ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't that shit that make you mad? Treat you like a slave. What changed all
Hey, Nassau, get ready for the new and bold Barbecue Crispy King at Burger King. 2 100% flame grilled patties stacked with that irresistible onion crunch you love. Smoky barbecue sauce, crisp bacon, and melted cheddar, all on a buttery brioche bun. Crunch, bacon, cheese, flame grilled flavor. Swing by any of Burger King's 6 Nassau locations and taste the new Barbecue Crispy King today. Burger King Nassau, where taste is on fire.
Refined style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then Fine Threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, wanna step out and look great, then Fine Threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. Is your place. Is your place.
Are you or someone you love in need of at-home care support? Maybe you require medication administration, mobility assistance, or post-surgical recovery support. Do you have a loved one who is suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia and need patient-centered support? Well, there's a caring, affordable, and trusted solution available for you. It's called Assurance Home Care. We have certified Bahamian nurses and caregivers, and we can provide both hourly or monthly rates. Call us now for a free consultation at 242-810-8995. At Assurance Home Care, we provide quality care you can trust right at home.
Kane is in the building.
Already the show goes on all night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Already the show goes on all night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Have you ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth, hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh, put my kicks up on
We're back at you on the Monday Boy Naughty Company right until 6 p.m. Roscoe Thompson, my special guest today, as he is each and every Monday. Let's get to the phone lines. I know some callers were, exercising their patience and holding on during the break, so let's get them out of the way. Texts I'll get to in a second, and then Roscoe and I will wrap things up. Talking Heads. All right, hit us back, callers. If you we're back out of the break. If you didn't want to hold, you can chime back now, and we'll get you in. Let me check the text lines real quick. Naughty, despite what these folks are saying about the majority parties, There is no other option. COI and Lincoln being as leader is never the answer. If it wasn't for Veronica MacGyver, the COI had a hope, but never Lincoln Bain. There's not a Haitian problem in Long Island, Naughty. Naughty, it's bad enough that the government is allowing immigrants from Haiti to come here en masse, but why are they approving work permits for senior citizens over the age of 65? Bahamians are forced into retirement at 65. Very good points, texters. All right, Mr. Producer, we got any calls to them? If not, let me jump I'll jump back with Roscoe, and then let me know if there's any calls, and we'll get it on. Roscoe, what we were talking about, going into the break, it's a good point, though. Yes, we know. We got Roscoe back in?
Yeah, I'm here.
The caller made some good points. And when you look back to where this all emanated from, we know from whence it started.
Right.
We know how it's mushroomed. We know the components. But in 2026, you have to look at some glaring things. Why then, if there, are no jobs, why are we getting flights every week with foreign nationals coming in with alleged documents already in hand, including work permits?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that happening? That's a different component, and that's happening for the first time.
That's a different kettle of fish there, too.
That's a different kettle of fish which you have to look at. Why is this happening, and what's the ulterior motive? And at the end of the day, like I said, Bahamians need jobs. We can't be documenting folks over 65 for work permits, and Bahamians have to retire at 65. See, what's getting lost in the process and all of this is Bahamians are no longer be first. We still need to remain first in our own country.
Correct.
We can't be displaced. And again, a small minority that's making generational wealth off all this cannot hold the majority hostage by their selfish actions.
Agreed.
I do agree that, political parties for years have had their reasons for having foreign nationals, especially Haitian foreign nationals in Abaco. But, okay, let's take Abaco out of the equation. What happened to the rest of the 242? There's an immigration problem in New Providence, Exuma, Eleuthera. How is it so? I can understand if those were the reasons why Abaco had an issue and nowhere else had an issue and it was under control, but the whole place got an issue. So where do we need to be? How do we solve it? Let's get to the phone lines real quick. I think we got the callers back. Talking Heads.
Hey, you naughty.
Afternoon.
Hey, and good afternoon to Mr. Abaco.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Abaco, you was talking about the Trumpian way of doing it, but I remember now, Obama got more out of the country than Trump is getting out with a much more humane way. How about adopting the Obama way? Find out what it was that he did.
Whichever way works for us,
Mm-hmm.
something needs to be done. It doesn't matter if it's Trump, Obama, Clinton.
No, I want the Trump way. The Trumpian way is caused so much confusion, and then and it's a bunch of nonsense. I prefer to do it Obama way, get a clean cut, get them out. And the thing about it is, when we get them out, we have to find out how they're getting in, because we're not hearing any votes and things coming in, but they're still coming in. So somebody needs to do some serious investigation at that airport and find out if these flights coming in from Haiti with the passports and all these stuff, if it's true. We really need to look into that, and we need to have some serious investigations into that. Now, how are we going to get about doing that? We need people that works there to be able to confide in, say, a naughty or someone that can keep their identity a secret and just let us know what is the truth. How do we know it's true or not? It's a lot of assumptions.
Good stuff, and I think a lot of Bahamians want to know what's really going on with that situation at the airport and flights, especially involving the national flag carrier. Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
And your guest, Roscoe there. I run a big construction company. I own a big construction company, and our problem is in this country, Bahamians don't want to work. Let's face the reality of it. If Haitians come from Haiti here and they don't work.
Bro, hold on a second. I understand you work construction, but I can tell you there's a ton of Bahamians that want to work.
I'll hold on, and you send me their numbers.
All right.
It's the reality of it. The reality of it, right? Listen here.
But with all due respect, and all I could say is how you say Bahamians don't want work.
Most of them don't want work.
Who own construction companies don't want Bahamians to pay Bahamians what they worth.
Hey, the Haitians charge us the same much as Bahamians now. It's different. Listen to me, Naughty. Let me tell you something. I ain't a field. Let me show you something.
Then you ain't got employations if they charging the same price.
Naughty, it ain't like that. One time ago, Haitian labor used to be cheap. It ain't cheap no more. It ain't cheap no more. Okay? You know why the rate going up? Because the Bahamians don't come forward and work. You understand me? If they were coming forward, we wouldn't have this problem in this country. Everybody in this country only want a government job that they can go on, stay home when they want to stay home, do what they want to do when they want to do it, and that's all they, all Bahamians, that's all they want. Most Bahamians, that's all they want. We got to face reality, Naughty.
All right, let me ask you a question since we're facing serious reality. Let's me and you come together and be a solution. If I could find you 15 young Bahamian men out of school with a good police record, some BJCs that are looking for a career in construction to get started, will you employ them or apprentice them?
I will hire them, Naughty, but let me tell you what
hold on now.
Let me say something to you, Naughty.
Everything that is said on this show is recorded from our mouths to God's ear.
Naughty, listen what I'm saying to you.
So let's be part of the change. Let's be part of the solution, brother.
Yeah, I'm trying to change it, but it can't only be me one, Naughty. Naughty, let me tell you something. I brought some guys, some
me and you, and I got a platform, and you got a way to get it done, and we can get other people involved. Each one, reach one, and teach one.
Naughty.
All right, I'll put it up to you like this. I can tell you right now, I know somebody, Mega, who is the co-host on Sunday Press Box. I will vouch for Mega. He'll do it for 15 young Bahamians. I got 2. You in construction, him in plumbing. What you saying?
Naughty, let me say something to you before I hang up. Let me say something before I hang up.
You say Bahamians don't want to work.
Listen to me. Now they started 2 big jobs about 2 months ago, right? They come to work every day. They won't get paid. All right. When you pay them on Friday, they said who stay till Friday. When you pay them Friday, you only see them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You might show up Thursday. That's the problem that we have. They're looking for a job, but they don't want to work.
All right. Let me ask you.
That's the problem we have.
Can I ask you this question? How many Haitians do you employ?
I got about Bahamians?
No, Haitians. I don't want about Bahamians. I'm asking you how many Haitians you employ.
I have about 30 right now and about 3 Bahamians.
Are they 30 to 3? That's your ratio?
Yeah.
Go to church and ask for forgiveness. Catholic, Baptist, whatever. Muslim, I don't care. Rastafarian, Lord of mercy. So you could definitely get 15 on there and make it 30 to 18 ratio. What you saying? Oh, you gone on that one, eh? 30 to 3?
30 to 3. That's a big...
Well, brother, you are part of the problem. 30 to 3? My God, you ain't ashamed? You ain't ashamed. But you done committed on Talking Heads that you would hire 15 young Bahamians who wanted to learn construction that had the right paperwork. And we got your number, so we know how to find you. So what it can be, Mr. 30 to 3. That's your new nickname, too, on the show. When you call back, just say, this 30 to 3. 30 to 3. How many of y'all out there, please text me or call me, believe Bahamians don't want to work in this country? And let me tell you something. If Haitian construction is now the same value as Bahamian construction, we don't have a problem. Hire Bahamians. That's how the thing go. And I don't care what promoter in the world will hire me. I have my fee. I have my worth. I know what I good for. You want me to do a show in foreign? It's X, Y, and Z to get my bungie off the couch. Then it come with 2 first-class tickets for me and MJ. Hotel suite, and whatever I want in the green room. And whatever MJ want in the green room. If you're a cool promoter, I don't ask for nothing. If you turn out to be a jerk, boy, I could Taco Bell you to death. And other things too. But no. Every Bahamian, if you qualify, you go to work, you apprentice, you study, you get qualified, you should be paid what you're worth. And the market shouldn't be undercut by foreign nationals, whether with correct work permits or not, being employed by the market.
Yeah, and
It's not right.
No, and that's what was
They're
happening
part
here.
of the problem.
That's what was happening for a long time. The foreign nationals undercutting Bahamians, which is a big issue. But now, the qualifications, you got to look at it. Bahamians, and if they're qualified, bring them on. You're paying a laborer now, or somebody to clean your yard $120 a day for, 6 hours, 7 hours.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Get these other calls in. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty, what you saying, bro?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
MJ, what's good?
MJ is not here today, brother, but she's good, and I'm sure she'd say, what's good?
You started to hit the nail on the head. It's not that, and listen, Naughty, if we can be real, we do have some challenges with some of our young fellas. Attitudes toward working. But for that fella to cast a blanket and say Bahamians generally don't want to work, tell everybody to go sit down. Bahamians don't want to work for slave money. Say what it is. And if these fellas really want to be honest, what you can get certain people to do that's not necessarily fair or right, this is ours. Why would I? That's a problem there. But my challenge is we often toss, whenever we talk about immigration, the focus on the Haitians becomes the issue. There are some communities here, Naughty, and you go in the grocery store. Let's stop playing these.
No, hold on, my brother. Let me allow me to just interject. You got a South American community, you got a Filipino community, you got a Chinese community, you got a Canadian community, you got an American community, and plenty behind the gated communities. You got all kinds of foreign nationals.
How do they get work permits to work these jobs?
I guess you got to check immigration consultants in the country first, and then go from there.
No, but we don't, Naughty. A lot of Bahamians don't understand how this thing goes. People that come here from somewhere else, we run to immigration. It starts at the Department of Labor. A labor certificate has to be issued before it gets to immigration. And a lot of us just want talk out of you-know-what, by Naughty Bay.
But hold on,
Naughty, he is correct.
Now remember, hold on, but wait a minute. To my point, though, remember what we were talking about, legal immigration and illegal immigration. Now, if it's legal immigration, we understand that obviously you go through the protocols and you say, I want to hire an individual. You
Naughty, the legal immigration is illegal.
Hold on.
Because you tell me now. Hold on, man. Wait, hear me out.
Are you upset that LeBron only scored 2 points in his final All-Star game? You're very grumpy today.
Wholesale food place, right? There are some prerequisites that must be met for that labor certificate to be issued. And we find all these creative ways because we're corrupt. Here's where it falls on Bahamians. Somebody tip you, we willing to do all sorts of things, man.
All right.
Some prerequisites have to be met before labor certificates get issued. And you're telling me that these establishments, and we know who they are, let's stop playing these games. You're telling me that you could justify a certain person from a, man, we know who they are. And I was saying Naughty, but you know what I'm saying. You go to the grocery store.
Listen.
Did you do your due diligence? Did you do what was required by law?
Listen. Hold on. I always do my due diligence, and I want to caution you on something. You are my friend for a very long time.
100%.
Please understand where your angst is really coming from. It's that 2-point nanny burger LeBron laid in his final All-Star game.
I ain't talking about no LeBron, Naughty. I ain't talking sense, man.
Now,
all I'm trying
back
to
your
say
point.
to you is
I want you
Naughty.
to breathe.
Listen to
I want you to
man.
breathe.
Hear me.
And I want you to hear this part of it.
I ain't talking about LeBron, bro.
All right, but I want you to hear about this part here. Listen here.
Guess what? What we call legal immigration, Naughty, listen to me. As a former hotel executive, right? It's all across the board. We like to focus because of our xenophobia on a certain community. And if they're wrong and if they're here illegally, come from around here. But we don't
can I make this point, though?
The government allows some individuals that are not qualified that make a ridiculous amount of money, Naughty. And if you look at it,
you made your point, but I got to be able to counter your point, Knowledge.
Our salaries, it's ridiculous. So what we call legal immigration.
Okay, Knowledge. We can't talk at the same time. All right? I want you to express your points. But we could talk with each other, not at each other. I'm trying to make a point to one of your points that you made. All right? You got to allow me to counterpoint. Okay? I want to hear what you have to say, but we can't talk at the same time. My question to you, I agree with you because I've been in the hospitality industry for years too. I understand those kind of jobs. I understand other entities that may require foreign nationals to work here. I get all of that. But in this case, I'm talking about, and yes, like you said, and like I've said on this show many times, it is just not the Haitian component of foreign nationals. There's a huge Filipino community, South American community, Chinese community. You have a Canadian community. You have American community. You have all kind of Eastern Euro community, and all behind a lot of gates. But I am asking you, when it comes to immigration, none of those foreign nationals allegedly arrive 200 to 300 on the national flag carrier, 2 flights a week with documentation in hand. That speaks to the illegal portion of immigration. Because how you reach document in hand and can't speak a lick of English, but want vote or want a job. And you talking about certain places? Yes. When I go to food stores, among other places, I have seen Bahamians, both young men and women, displaced by older foreign nationals, in particular English, bogarting and bullying them out of the way for the pack. So you saying nothing slick to a can of oil knowledge. My question to you is, I agree that there's a lot of foreign nationals, but how we get on this? Because is there a national flag carrier bringing in Cubans every week? Chinese? Dominican? Colombian? Canadian? No. And I want to have the combo with you. You're my brother from another mother, but I know you're passionate, but we got to speak and to each other because I want to hear what you got to say. But I got stuff to say too, what you got to hear. Now let's go back to the phone lines. All right. Listen.
Hello.
If Roscoe, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Chime away, my brother. No. There was a lot covered in those calls. So, I mean, obviously from an Abaco perspective and your perspective, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Listen, I mean, they are correct, but there's a difference between legal immigration and illegal immigration, I mean, and he is right about, having to go to the labor board, but Naughty, you know as well as I do, a tip here, a tip there, and you can get anything passed.
Look, buying lunch when he came off of his ship.
I know, and that's the thing. See, Abaco, they could call Abaco Little Haiti, and yes, I will say Bahamians are some of the issue with that because they employ the illegals that come, or they could get them at a cheaper salary, or whatever. They do that. That's been going on here
from that time.
But how do we go about correcting that and stopping
exactly,
that?
Because if it's illegal immigration, it's still on the government for being so slow to implement the policies to stop it and prevent it.
Correct. But I've seen people leave, get deported 1 week, and then they're back on the plane the next week.
Exactly.
How does that happen?
We are deporting a lot of people who overstay. And why hasn't the government adjusted the policy in the frequent flights into Haiti? And then if you get Jean-Jacques, who was here in October, show back up in December, how you get back here?
Correct. That's
how you reach so. What kind of vetting are we doing at the border? And who are we letting in?
That's where we have to look too, is what's happening. Why are they not being read through? They just were deported, 2-3 weeks ago.
All right, let's go to the phone lines real quick, Roscoe. Talking heads.
Hey, Naughty.
Hey, what's happening?
Yeah, I had to call back, man. That gentleman was talking about, but Bahamians don't work, man. They like, Naughty, I 47, be 48 this year. I was on the construction field when I was young. I graduated out of the BTVI as a tile layer, working and over Paris Island on them towers. As a foreman, controlling them towers. Naughty, the Bahamian do want work. they don't want to pay the Bahamians the right amount of money. You understand? They come from Naughty and our labor board. The labor board ain't making no sense. Lord, I mean, Naughty, one time I go on the labor board one time to go sign up for one talent company. And the people interview me like that, like I was a stranger in my own town, and they ain't even hire me. They do that and then they can report back to the government that the Bahamian people don't want to work. They don't want the Bahamian people to work. They want to bring the foreigners in to work. Naughty, I had a boss who was to bring some Filipinos and Dominicans in for all the companies. Them for all these people are waiting for cheap. They waiting for cheap. They don't mind this guy, and he got to go pick them up. He have to pick every last one of them up to go to work. You understand? I come from Naughty, the speaker job. This country need to get fixed. They have to be giving people them less than anything in this country, and they get the gentlemen they have young men that want to work. Be a BT, what they have BTVI for? Take them out of BTVI. If he wants something, go and get the young boys who learning the skill. Instead of bothering with the ones who want dope and this and that and all, who don't want work, who mommy still taking care of them. Hey, go on.
Good stuff, Carl. Appreciate you as always. Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, fairly well. Is Burroughs a Bahamian name?
I don't know. I mean, what's your last name?
Okay. Because
no, but I mean, what's your last name?
Yeah, sometimes people judge you according to your name, but if the Burroughs speak with a Trinidadian accent, is that person a foreigner?
Well, you born here?
Yes, of course.
Okay, then. If you're born here,
sometimes
and if you're born to Bahamian parents, then you're Bahamian. And if you're born to foreign parents and at 18 you applied for Bahamian citizenship and you got it, then you're Bahamian.
Is Bowlin a Bahamian name?
Is what?
Bowlin, Bowlin.
Well, what's your last name?
I'm Bowlin.
And I'm more Bahamian than all y'all.
And all my children are Bahamians.
And all mine too. All two
all
of
right.
them.
So sometimes we do it's a very simplistic look at things, and especially during election time, it's magnified by both
That's
all
why I
parties.
like to hear from you, because you and I can break it down and make it simple for the masses. That's why I always like to hear from you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too, man. And Roscoe can tell you. Roscoe know my family. Roscoe know my Bahamian side. Long time. I lie, Roscoe?
Nope. That is correct.
So I don't get caught up in all that, but we do have to find solutions, Roscoe. And you know, we got to fix it.
You said some of them earlier, in terms of naturalization, right to permanent residency, maybe not the right to vote, but, certain things can be granted for people that are doing it. Let them become regularized throughout the country, I mean, at some point in some time, we've discussed this over and over, and I'm not saying we all have the right ideas and the right things, but, be part of that solution to help us move forward better as a country and as a sovereign nation.
Let's get back to the phone lines. We got some more calls. Talking Heads. Talking Heads.
Yeah, I'm Naughty. Very pleasant. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Afternoon. How are you?
Wonderful, man. I just want to contribute to this discussion. There's a gentleman, I think it's called 33, gentleman who made a reference to employment.
Right.
This situation is a complex one. As a businessman, right? I listened to him and he made a reference to Bahamians who come to work. They work for a couple of days, then they don't show up the next couple of days, or they only show up on payday when they didn't get paid. That kind of situation. I sympathize with him because if you're a businessman and you have a deadline and you need consistency, and if you don't meet that deadline, it costs you. As a businessman, what would you do if you're faced with that situation? Would you look for consistent
employment? First of all,
employment?
as a businessman, if I was a man, I would hire Bahamians in the first place.
Yeah.
If I was a businessman with that problem, I would find a secondary Bahamian company that could fix the job that the first set of Bahamians I hired couldn't get done. At the end of the day, I'm a Bahamian businessman. I employ Bahamians first. And I am of the belief you pay people commensurate value for their worth. for their qualifications. So no, I don't buy into that. There's other solutions without referring to cheap foreign national labor as a solution. It's still a part of the problem.
Okay, one other point. How do you address the situation of corruption in this country where you're able to tip and get anything done that you want? If you was a leader, how would you deal with that?
Now, see, I had my comedian hat on and my Che Guevara playbook in one hand, and you don't want me to answer that. So I'll rewind and I'll say, break it down. We know that buying lunch from time immemorial, from you was knee-high to a grasshopper and I was knee-high to a grasshopper, what you want done in this country? Buy lunch, correct? Look at the passport office. So much so, they figured out how much people was buying lunch for, and now $300 in 24 hours, you got your passport.
I got you.
Don't buy them lunch, buy us lunch. So at the end of the day, we need to eliminate buying lunch. I know it's a quick means. We need to pay people commensurate to their worth. Then they won't be willing to buy lunch. And if we digitize a department, don't let staff sabotage said digitization and computerization of a department because it's bad for their business making lunch money. We need to deal with corruption that way, call it out where we see it, call wrong where wrong is. Org talks about extensively the Freedom of Information Act, Procurement Act. This administration is alien to the Freedom of Information Act and the Procurement Act. That's two big-time mechanisms that could be put in place to deal with situations like this.
I got you. I thank you so much.
I appreciate your call. Let's get to the break. Roscoe, you and I will chop it up on the flip side of the break. I appreciate you hanging with me today, man. We got a big one going on in Apico. Keep it right where you got it. The Monday, February 16th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
All night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun up? Just remember when you come up. Show us out.
Forget them check. You know it's Tommy respect. AP is hot, we sitting close. Breeze on your lip, that's how I know. You is my person, that ain't no secret. You share wing, I might keep it. Love buckets.
8 tasty pieces of chicken, thighs and legs for just $20. Add a large side for $5. This February, love deserves a bucket. KFC, it's finger licking good.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Struggling to find your financial rhythm? Make that move to Fidelity and let us help you orchestrate your financial goals into perfect harmony with free financial coaching sessions. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape, a Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more. There's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
The City of Miami Gardens presents JITG Music Fest, March 7th and 8th at Hard Rock Stadium. See Janae Aiko, Ludacris, and his 25th anniversary set, Nelly, The Shanty, Glorilla, Music Fest with Ella May, Maya, Party with D Nice and Friends featuring SWV, Donnell Jones, Chase, Sunshine Anderson, and Kenny Burns, the Isley Brothers, El DeBarge, Stephanie Mills, King George, Pastor Mike Jr., Tonio Armani, Tony James, Damian Escobar, and more. JITG Music Fest, March 7th and 8th, Hard Rock Stadium. Info at jazzinthegardens.com. Presented by the City of Miami Gardens and the Black Promoters Collective.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Yeah! Already the show goes on all night.
We're back at you on the Monday, February 16th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty and your company right up until 6 p.m. Wrapping things up with Roscoe Thompson. Roscoe, I know you're busy and I appreciate you going over. I got one quick question for you because, I think we made all our points on immigration. You have anything else to add based on what we heard from the callers in the Texas?
No, man, Naughty. I just hope we can get it right one day. You know, I hope it's in our lifetime.
Our lifetime, I swear.
You know, but it's a no-win situation. It's just we got to come to some sort of agreement, and hopefully, whichever administration they can rectify it and move us forward better.
Real quick, as far as the marinas go, I know that MP John Pinder is not offering for the next election. On the heels of being with the Ministry of Tourism and dealing with the yachting and the boating sector and going off to Monaco and bragging on all that we have to offer, this administration just recently announced that the industry is down 51%. Like we all been belly aching for a little bit before, a little while. Has Abaco seen that effect? Has it improved, or is it still in a rough situation?
Oh boy.
We still got Roscoe?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I lost you there for a minute.
All right, you heard what I said, or
I heard about John going to Monaco, and that was you died. You
right. Well, on the heels of him going in his capacity in the Ministry of Tourism for the yachting sector, John Pinder went to Monaco at the big yacht show, the Monaco Yacht Show, waxed poetic about all what the Bahamas had to offer. But now, we recently understand that Bimini is down, and I'm sure other marinas in the Family Islands are affected. Is Abaco being affected by it?
Abaco has been affected by it. There's no doubt in my mind. We've had a big increase of passengers by air, but passengers by boat has decreased.
The passengers by boat has decreased, and now you got the air component coming in.
Yeah, that's what's been helping the second homeowners, and that helps us with our tourism market over here. But they've had an increase in visitors by plane. But in terms of boats, I know that we have to be down because when I look at the marinas, they're nowhere near what they were years ago, capacity-wise.
Well, I appreciate you chiming in, bro. I'm going to let you go because I know you're busy, and we'll do it again next Monday. I'm going to deal with these 18 million texts we got and the rest of these calls. But be safe with regards to the family. You too, man, and we'll talk again next week. I appreciate you, Roscoe.
I appreciate you, Naughty. Good afternoon, Bahamas.
All right. And that's Roscoe Thompson chiming in as he does each and every Monday right here on Talking Heads, bringing us the scoop from Abaco. Let's go to the phone lines. And as I go to the phone lines, callers, I want to hear from you. Do you believe in 2026 that Bahamians don't want to work? I got to hear from you on that.
Hey,
Talking Heads. What's happening?
Listen to me carefully. We love to work. This country got built on our backs as Bahamians. Listen to me carefully. I got a story to tell you. A friend of mine, my neighbor, his mother, they send him to Canada. I don't know if you know, but that's CSI, fighting crime, with the forensic and computer and all that, right?
Oh, you mean I watched that show a lot? Me and MJ like CSI.
Years. Listen, he went and learned that for 5 years. He came back to the Bahamas. Watch this now. Guess where they placed that boy?
Yeah.
In juvenile court. The what they worth. You understand me? They're looking for cheap labor. They're looking for someone that they could work half to death and pay them very little money. You understand what I'm saying?
They looking for
lots of Bahamians. We got a guy right now at AT&T. He's second in charge. He could have been your handler with Batelco and all that stuff. But we have this mindset that we don't deserve the best. We don't deserve to be paid like this. We don't deserve to get paid 7 figures. That's the mindset of our kind. We don't believe we deserve the best. And we don't need to hire foreigners. We got the best right here, but pay them what they're worth. Bahamians go to school, you know. They sacrifice. They spend money. And to come back and make a 2-figure salary for a job they could go foreign and make 7 figures?
You are preaching
Come
to the
on,
choir.
man.
And you know what another big problem is we have?
Yeah.
We have long-time civil servants that been there from time immemorial, from King Hatton
Naughty.
was a hammer, don't want free up and don't want to see progress.
Hey, Mr. Naughty, I just going to hit that. You call them bottlenecks. You understand me? You got these old fellas there. I see an inspector downtown. The man could barely hold up his punch. You understand me?
I seen him too.
That's stopping promotion.
I seen him too.
That's stopping these young people. That is discouraging them from going on the force, discouraging them from even trying to get promoted. That's discouraging. You call them bottlenecks. They don't want to move.
It creates the brain drain because exactly right. I mean, why should I come here for peanuts when they're going to welcome me with open arms and give me opportunities for upward mobility in the company and to have a position with perks and benefits?
You understand what I'm saying? Naughty man, like your payments need to do better. The government need to do better. We need to pay people what they're worth. You want your company to run right? Pay them what it's worth. You understand me? If you pay me peanuts, I'm going to give you peanut service. But you see, these employers in the Bahamas, Naughty, I really don't go racist here, man. But they can wake you half to death, and they can say, oh, she needs a job because she got 3 children in the field. That is a liar. Pay the price where it will succeed. Bye, Naughty. Catch you later, dog.
Caller. One more thing.
Hey,
don't be no stranger, man. I like your energy. Don't be no stranger. All right?
Yeah, man. This me from yesterday.
Wait. And now I know. Don't be no stranger. Keep calling. And you hit that big parlay. I still want my 10%. We got any more calls, Mr. Producer? Let me know. If not, let me go to these texts because we got a ton of texts, boy. My God. All right, let me get to the text because I want to hear from the texters as well. Naughty is bad enough that the government is allowing immigrants from Haiti to come here en masse, but why are they approving work permits for senior citizens over 65? Meanwhile, in the midst of all this, national insecurity was and had remained mum, dumb, and none. Hence, no outcome. Give a shout out to the ministry for doing nothing on that one, Naughty. Naughty, we don't have an immigration problem. We have a Bahamian problem. It's too much Bahamians in Abaco. That's the problem. Trump cares about his people. Our government doesn't, point blank. And COI would change the game, not the oligarchs. You had me right up into the last part here, Texter, and I had to laugh. Sorry. They would rather wait until there's a riot. That caller said nothing new for me, as always, talking about puppet governments, showdown governments, corporations, etc. I like how you put it, Naughty. That caller is all talk. He only wants to hire Haitians, believe me. This caller sounds like an imposter. He ain't no Bahamian. He is the problem. 30-3, be the change you wish to see. Commit to hiring the 15 Bahamians, boss. Hello, Naughty. That caller who said he has 30 Haitians working for him is breaking the law. He's supposed to apply for a work permit for each Haitian and find some place for them to live and pay national insurance. He should be arrested and charged in court for hiring illegal workers. Naughty Haitians run to work, but the skill is not there. They are not trained or skilled carpenters. What does Roscoe mean if they're qualified? Are those illegals qualified? They don't come with any skills they learn on the job. Bahamians are the hardest workers in the world. How are we surviving with no help? I don't know one Bahamian male that does not want to work. Not for 2 days, not to clean your yard, and not for 1 week. They want substantial jobs. What the contract is saying is true. They go through the process of hiring Bahamians. Majority may work a week or miss 3 days or never show up. Then they're back to square one. Start workers. And you can't run a job site with illegal foreign nationals either, undercutting the market, because you are now part of the problem. Business people then wasting their time to have to go through the hire process all over again to wash, rinse, and repeat. Don't get me wrong, I am against the severe immigrant crisis we are right now. Something's got to give. But in one breath, you're saying hire foreign nationals, so you're part of the problem. But then in the next breath, you're saying you have a problem against the severe immigrant crisis? Something got to give. Hire Bahamians and pay them what they're worth. Good afternoon, Naughty. Great show as usual. Every year, a few hundred persons do certification from BTVI. Government should make it mandatory to recruit these young men and women based on their skills, plumbers, carpenters, electricians, and so on. My son studied forensic too, came home for an offer of $22K. We have very poor leaders and leaders who are not smart, who do not want our country to succeed without them getting the credit. Pay people what they're worth. You know, maybe your son was too qualified as a forensic investigator. That might have meant many cases would have gotten solved. That might have been bad for some, because you know we got some bad apples on the force. Not the whole force, but you know we got some bad apples. Anyway, let's go back to the phone lines. Talking heads.
Yo, Naughty, what's going on?
What's going on, my brother?
It's Pablo Diablo here, man.
What's going on, Pablo? What's happening?
Well, right here. I called to comment on that last caller. My big brother left here to go to school to study to be an electrical engineer. When he was about to finish with his degree, master's degree in electrical engineering, electrical and civil engineering, he came back here and he shopped himself around to the relevant businesses, i.e. BPL, Freeport Power. And you know what they tell him? He overqualified. He went back to school, and when he reached back to where he was in school in Nebraska, he had an envelope sitting in his mailbox with a job offer from Lincoln Power and Light. His starting...
In Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yes. His starting salary out of college was $250,000 a year after taxes, which was in
So why he coming home?
Pardon?
So why would he have been a change?
Thank you. And watch this. That was in 1998. You know what he is now? He is the third vice president in charge of civil and electrical engineering, making $750,000 a year after taxes.
Props to him, and I am proud as a Bahamian to know that other Bahamians are doing that globally, and I'm sure you all see him every year for John Canoe.
Oh, John Canoe, and when he run out of Vitamol and Gumby Punch, I just got to go put him in DHL or FedEx.
But Pablo, let me just talk personally. I know you long time, years without fears. From when Jams cracked open, you were one of their best producers and one of their best talents, you know, doing the late night stuff. But you were a great producer. And one thing you could tell the Bahamian people, when the market don't work for you here, you have skills, and guess what? From your home, you can produce anything you need to and get paid globally, correct?
Yes, sir, because with the internet and the digital age nowadays, I could sit home on my computer and make more money than if I physically go into a radio station or a TV station to say, I need a job as a production manager.
So that tells
I ain't
me
getting no assistant. No, but you know my qualifications. I ain't getting no assistant.
That means to tell me that you want to work, but you want to work for your worth. So that means if you got to sit in your house from your studio and get paid foreign for your work, that's what you're going to do since you can't make it in the market here, correct?
Thank you.
But that don't mean you don't want to work, right?
Exactly.
Anyway, bro, don't be a stranger. Always glad to know you're doing well.
Like Jim Carrey used to say on that's Bruce Almighty. That's the size of the cookie, and that's the way it crumbles.
And he also used to say, from
Hey, brother.
Good to hear from you, bro. Always a pleasure, man. But like I say, you know, Bahamians, do you know how many people we lost in the brain drain? If we would have got a minuscule percentage of those Bahamians that we lost to the brain drain, probably BPL would have been better, and BTC would have been better, and other things would have been better, and infrastructure would have been better, and there would have been new technology and methods to keep the roads paved properly without caving in and having to repave them 50 million times in 1 year. Oy vey. Let me go to the text lines. Some empowers have been keeping trained white-collar jobs without applying to work permits for renewing their permits properly. That's another thing that's been going on for a long time, too, as well. And we got to eliminate this situation. We got to change the game. We got to put things in place to protect Bahamians, ensure that we are first. And then when we open our borders, do it correctly to people that are going to build this country, embrace this country, immerse themselves in the culture of this country, not drain us and deplete us and leave us wanting and leaving Bahamians feeling second class and third class in their own country. And it does start with leadership. It does start with governments. And we need to put the parameters in place to ensure that Bahamians come first. And I know, like I said, this is a touchy topic, but it's one that we have to address. And it's one we have to address moving forward. We can't stick our head in the sand like an ostrich and hope it'll blow away and go over. No. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for solutions. This is a vexing situation. And again, if you from where it is, I'm sure there are components where we need foreign laborers, but do it the right way. And I'm sure there's components where Bahamians can do the job, and we need to fill the gap with Bahamian workers that can do said jobs rather than foreign nationals. That's just how it is. That's never going to change. And if we don't change it, 100 years from now, we'll be still. And yes, we have to look at the facilitation as well. We have to look who's providing the services to fast track these paperwork or ensure these folks get these paperwork in hand, whether it's voter's card or national insurance card, visas, passports, work permits, permanent residency. And it ties into buying lunch, and we got to stop that too. I know some of you all hot with me for saying that now. But if me, somebody who has benefited from the buying lunch process, is willing to toe the line, then we all got to toe the line. Because if it makes the Bahamas better, then we got to stop buying lunch. Period. Naughty, I'm happy that Pablo's doing great, but we need to look at two things. Is it always about the money? Understanding our economy is nowhere as big as Nebraska's economy. Secondly, what has Pablo brother done to help the Bahamas to get a better? See, hold on. Keep him here. So obviously there's opportunities elsewhere. Listen, let me put it to you like this. If MSNBC calls tomorrow and says, Naughty and MJ, we want to sign you as talking heads, and we want you to move to New York and cover all things Caribbean broadcasting-wise, guess what? The next time you hear from me, I'll be singing, These Vagabond Shoes. All along it. Oh, I'm only joking, because I just get slapped by my all-Bahamian loving wife, MJ. No, but understand, you look at the opportunities. You have to weigh them. And if you work hard, and you get the qualifications and you put in the work, you should be commensurated for your worth. I get your point about the economy there compared to here, Texas. That's fair. But, I mean, quite frankly, if I wasn't provided an opportunity here, I have to go where the opportunity is provided, and obviously I'm going to make my decisions based on that moving forward. And if you look at how many Bahamians are building America and Canada and other parts of the world, you'd be surprised, but they are. Because one simple thing, we cannot pay Bahamians what they're worth. And it's been a crying shame from then till now, and it needs to stop. And I get you, business owners. I get it. You want to do good work, and you want to make money. And you want value for your dollar just as much as the consumer who's paying you want value for that dollar. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to hire Bahamian workers at a price point that is satisfactory to them and to you, and that we get the job done and we keep Bahamians employed. Naughty, this may be off topic. I was at the concert on the weekend. When Barris said to the crowd, hush, I fell out laughing, remembering what you said on Friday. And then you should have said, but Barris, shut up, boy, I didn't pay $165 for VIP. I can sing every friggin' song. One thing, though, the economy would be better if we were more efficient and hired more Bahamians. I mean, when you look at remittances, we ain't making no money. I can tell you, boy, you go to certain pharmacies, Western Union and MoneyGram and a couple other places, boy, you see remittances from what I call the United Nations. Accent and languages from all over the world that aren't Bahamian. And the moolah is going out. In fact, if you go for breakfast on a Saturday morning by Naughty Johnny's, you'll have some great stew conch. Naughty, this may be okay. Yeah, man. Next time you pay $167 for a ticket, but tell Barris respect, father. But I don't pay $167. I singing too. Rock away. And with that note, I'm up out of here, man. For Roscoe chiming in today, appreciate him as always. For Mr. Producer, everybody who called in and texted in, good stuff. We'll do it again tomorrow right here on Talking Heads, where MJ and I will be in the building, and our special guest, the leader of the Free National Movement and the leader of His Majesty's Loyal Opposition, Mr. Michael C. Pintard. So please join us for a candid show tomorrow. And I promise, you never know, me and Mr. Pintard, we might talk some sports too. I hear you like the Lakers. So we'll have a great conversation. But be sure to join my MJ and myself tomorrow right here on Talking Heads with our special guest, F&M leader, Mr. Michael Pintard. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Talking Heads.
Naughty Johnny's Restaurant cannot be described as the experience you want to recreate again and again and again. Their motto is simple food done well. You're welcome into their home at Naughty Johnny's, where you can dine on crack conch fritters, and other Bahamian favorites. There's also an international flair that's guaranteed to offer something for everyone. Enjoy a good meal and listen to a live band on their patio Friday and Saturday nights, or brunch on Saturday and Sunday, only at Naughty Johnny's Restaurant in the Old Town Plaza, Old Fort. They're open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Naughty Johnny's, well worth the
For over half a century, Hongxi has been reserved only for heads of state and world leaders. It wasn't just a car, it was a privilege. Easy Car Sales is proud to bring that distinguished heritage to the Bahamas. A new era in luxury electric, rooted in absolute prestige. It's
This
for the few
is Guardian
who demand
Radio
freedom from the
96.9
gas pump
FM.
and
Streaming on
first-class craftsmanship. Visit Easy
GuardianTalkRadio.com
Car
and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Evening Report on the Guardian News Network. Hello, everyone. I'm Vonique Tude. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping news. Bahamas Power and Light has signed a 25-year power purchase agreement with Andros Renewable Energy for the development of 3 hybrid power plants in Nicholstown, Fresh Creek, and The Bluff in Andros. Company principal Ken Kerr says it represents a capital investment of over $20 million, and construction will take 18 months.
These projects will meet the growing demand for electricity on Andros Island, reduce harmful emissions, and create lasting opportunities for local employment and development. The company anticipates that the projects will, during construction and when fully constructed, have the following characteristics: total installed capacity of 7.2 megawatts, including 5.6 megawatts of LNG-based generation and 1.6 megawatts of solar and battery energy storage systems.
Kerr says the project will create 20 long-term jobs in addition to construction jobs. At the end of the 25 years, Energy Minister JoBeth Kobe Davis says the power plants will be transferred to BPL for ownership and maintenance.
These stations will deliver electricity through solar and LNG-powered generators. Stable and clean energy for Andros. It is important to note that the power station in Fresh Creek will be moved to a safe location slightly further north, so that residents are not exposed to health and safety risk. The power stations in North and South Andros will be near the current BPL power stations. The land at each BPL power station will be remediated from any environmental concern and in full compliance with international and local environmental standards.
Prime Minister Philip Davis says the power plants will ensure that the island receives modern and reliable power supply.
Stronger, modern systems mean fewer outages and fewer sudden breakdowns. A dependable grid supports new investments in fishing, farming, tourism, and small businesses. There's another important point. Renewable Energy Company is entirely Bahamian-owned. That tells us that Bahamian engineers, Bahamian financiers, and Bahamian entrepreneurs are prepared to step up and take on big responsibilities.
In other news, the Unregulated Communities Action Task Force demolished structures housing around 50 residents in a community off Fire Trail Road today. Arnika Bannister reports.
The Ministry of Public Works has demolished 4 structures occupying about 50 individuals. Officials say that they were served notice in June of 2025 and in November of that same year, where they were notified that demolition will take place in early 2026.
Sometime in June of 2025, notice was served on the homeowners here. They were asked to either self-demolish or we will do it for them. Another notice was given to them in the month of December and again in January. Today we're just carrying out that order. At this time, most of them have work permit. You have one Bahamian that is presently occupying the residence. She was assisted by social service.
Sergeant Carey says these unregulated communities are unsafe and is urging members of the public to cease and desist from constructing structures that are not built with proper materials. He added that authorities do have additional plans in place to demolish other unregulated communities.
The unregulated community is unsafe. If a fire breaks out, there is nothing stopping it from spreading because the structures are not sound. They're built out of clubboard, normally waste. So we're asking them to cease and desist from doing it. There's all kind of apartments and other structures that you can find yourself in. The area is also unsanitized. So we're asking them to cease and desist from doing it. We have several more unregulated communities in New Providence, and at this time we don't have a date for demolition. However, we have the cleanup for Blackwood and Abaco that is in the plans right now. We're just waiting on a date for that to move forward.
Dion Robinson, Senior Building Inspector for the Ministry of Works, emphasized the importance of structures, adding they pose serious health and safety risks.
So right now, we have an aggressive effort to move all unregulated communities and buildings at this time. These buildings, as we have stated earlier, are unregulated community, and the government has put in an initiative to remove all these unregulated communities out of the country because they are a nest for crime and disease.
That in some areas, residents have been telling individuals looking to construct unregulated communities that they are free to build on vacant lots.
A lot of people do that. They just come, like you said, find a piece of property and just start constructing. Go ahead and build. Property owners or persons in the community, but we're going to be working aggressively with our PR team to educate the public because a lot of people are not educated on the procedures, policies of building control or how to go about getting a permit. So we're going to be working aggressively with our PR section to put these out, that persons can be informed. Ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law. So we're going to try and inform everybody what needs to be done at this point in time.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Arnika Bannister.
Minister of Transport JoBeth Kobe Davis responded to a businessman's efforts to bring Uber to the Bahamas. The proposal has faced opposition from the Bahamas Taxi Cab Union.
I think they've been reaching out to drivers who are regulated by the Road Traffic Authority, the Road Traffic Act, to determine if there would be an interest for them to utilize the app for car for hire. That's what I understand from the structure. And some drivers, taxi drivers are self-employed. They're independent, they're regulated. The government set their rates. And of course, the world is now changing to more digital approach. And so there are going to be avenues and ideas that are presented for them to be car for hire in a digital way. And they have that option if that is where they would want to operate.
Kobe Davis says they will have to explore how the car for hire business structure would work.
I think there are some ways that we have to look at how that business structure is monetized in the Bahamas, in the sector. But other than that, they are independent, self-employed, and free to utilize their services once they're properly regulated, they're properly licensed, and all things are in order with their business and insurance, because that covers them and the passengers. That will be a further discussion between them and the company.
Member of Parliament Frederick McAlpine has officially announced he will contest the next general election as an independent candidate in Pine Ridge, citing a growing loss of confidence among Bahamians in the two major political parties. McAlpine previously represented the constituency in Parliament from 2017 to 2021, but lost the seat to Ginger Moxie, the candidate for the Progressive Liberal Party who is seeking re-election.
The theme of my campaign is People First, because the voice and the needs of the people of Pine Ridge must become priority once again in their parliament. I thank the 1,179 Pine Ridge residents who voted for me in 2021. Your turnout was the highest for any independent candidate in 2021. You sent a strong message of confidence in a candidate not running in a major party or third-party ticket.
McAlpine won the Pine Ridge seat in 2017 as a candidate for the Free National Movement. However, he ran as an independent in the subsequent election after publicly criticizing the Minnis administration on several occasions. Despite losing his seat, he says he has remained active in the community, providing financial assistance to local civic groups and cancer patients, and establishing a community center that offers a GED program. He maintains that party politics has lost its way.
Parties in power are progressively falling into the pattern of looking after parties' interests over the will of the people. If you dare to be a voice of conscience within a major party or speak up for what is right, you risk being shut down, shut out, or even fired. If a party says it's working for you, yet it punishes its MPs for fighting for you, who then is the party truly working for? I'm not only talking this talk, I walked it.
McAlpine, chairman of the Hotel Corporation in 2018, after voting against the value-added tax increase. He acknowledged that some voters may be reluctant to support an independent candidate.
In previous years, both of our major parties contributed significantly to the development of the Bahamas. There's no need to deny this. However, in life, what was true yesterday is not necessarily true or as true today. More and more Bahamians are losing faith in our major parties and in the political process. Many say they're tired of the back and forth between these. Many Bahamians are worried, discouraged, and fearful about the future. Now, there's no sin in supporting or being a part of a major party. As you know, I used to be a major party member. Most Bahamians who support the country's major parties are decent, hardworking men and women who just want the best for themselves, their family, and indeed their country. Nonetheless, I respectfully invite major party supporters in Pine Ridge to honestly ask yourself, are you happy with the direction of our country?
Meanwhile, Elizabeth MP JoBeth Colby Davis is among PLP candidates expected to take the stage tonight as the governing party officially launches its election campaign at Baha Mar Convention Center. The event is expected to draw hundreds of party supporters from constituencies in the Family Islands.
Progressive Liberal Party is launching the official campaign for 2026. And of course, I will be speaking to a lot of the progress that we've made in energy and some of the other ministries like housing, agriculture, but speaking on how we have transformed our country and the progress that we intend to continue to build on, and encouraging all Bahamians throughout our country to continue to vote, support the Progressive Liberal Party and the work that we've been able to achieve so that we can continue in building, transforming, and putting our country back on a stable footing.
You're listening to the Evening Report. Stay with us. There's more news after this break.
Struggling to find your financial rhythm? Make that move to Fidelity and let us help you orchestrate your financial goals into perfect harmony with free financial coaching sessions. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This Valentine's season, fall in love with who's always been there for you. With the Water and Sewage Corporation's Sweet February 27th. Pay your bill in full on or before the due date. Complete the entry form and we'll sweeten the deal with a 5% discount on your next bill. That's right, save some sweet cash just by keeping your account current. It's our way of saying thank you for being a valued customer. Sweet savings, because you take care of what takes care of you. From the Water and Sewage Corporation.
It's back at Little Caesars. And good. Our popular Chicago-style pizza is back. for a limited time only. Enjoy this delicious, thick, buttery crust pizza that's packed with layers of cheese, meats, and veggies for just $18 VAT inclusive. Now available at all 5 of our locations: Little Caesars, Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, East Street, Pineapple Plaza, Giles Saunders Highway, and 1 East Plaza.
Pizza.
Welcome back to the Evening Report. Atos Holding Company and Berkeley Preparatory School have partnered to refurbish the James N. Cooper Memorial Library at Nassau Christian Academy.
We are certainly appreciative to the Savosis family and the Berkeley School. We are thrilled to have them with us, and we are looking forward to our students becoming more excited. We have a good reading program here, but I am hoping that this is really going to ignite our students and their interest in reading. So we are looking forward to putting this to good use.
The initiative included the donation of 25 computers, along with new furniture and a collection of books.
We've been refurbishing libraries for many years now, and we build them as well. So it's programs where we wanted to bring new books into a school environment, upgrade the environment, make it more conducive for reading and learning. And like I said, it's something we've been doing for many years.
Officials say their aim is to enhance the school's learning environment and provide students with greater access to educational resources.
What you see is really a push for literacy, and behind us is a library that, because of the Savosis family and Atos Holding Company, we have been able to restock this library with new shelves, different books. There are 25 laptop computers that were brought in, as well as 4 desktop computers and other classroom supplies. And this has been a relationship that has been ongoing for 10 plus years.
And that'll do it for us here on the Guardian News Network. Once again, I'm Bonnie Tude. Have a good evening, everyone.
Stay current, stay compliant with NIB. For a limited time only, registered employers and self-employed persons can receive up to 75% off accumulated interest on their contribution arrears through NIB's Interest Arrears Waiver Program, available now until March